I don't think most people watch shows the way you guys watch it and analyze it and break it down. So I think people are going to listen to this and be like, I got to rewatch this now. All right, welcome to the Monarch Experience Podcast. Here at the Monarch Experience Podcast, we are giving students the platform to be able to voice their opinions about what matters most to them. And today, what matters most to them, it's Cobra Kai Season 4. You haven't watched it yet? Pause this episode, because not only are we going to be breaking down major plot points, character arcs, as well as predictions for Season 5, favorite scenes. There's going to be tons of spoilers, so pause this. Come back to it once you finish watching Season 4. I am your host, Mr. Ancona, and I am so pumped for what we've got coming down the line. The content creators are hard at work, and it kind of hit us that we've got, as of this recording, we've got about 50 days until the Monarch Experience Podcast hits our 50th episode. That is mind-blowing, and I won't get too sentimental right now and start reflecting and thinking about how far this podcast has come, how many students I've gotten to chat with that maybe I would have never have gotten to talk to with this podcast, or how many students I never got to hear this side of them if not for this podcast and not for being able to do episodes with them. So I'll save all that sentimental stuff, the sappy stuff, for another time. But what I want to share with everybody is that if you follow us on Snapchat at the Monarch Experience Podcast, you will see that I am going to be posting a story once a day over the next 50 days in culmination or in a countdown to when our 50th episode of the Monarch Experience will be released, which is going to be, if all things go according to plan, Wednesday, February 23rd. And not only will the 50th episode be this gigantic celebration and delve into how we create content and how to create content in general, so it won't be just podcast related, but stuff that if you're a content creator or an aspiring content creator, that you can hopefully take from this episode, which will of course be featuring our content creator specialists, Umar, Shreya, and Rohan. But we also are going to be unveiling and launching something that you, our audience, are going to love. And maybe there was a hint as to what we're launching, what we're unveiling, but it's big. It's going to be huge. We've already launched our TikTok account. You can follow us on TikTok at MonarchXP. And of course, if Twitter is your thing, you can follow us on Twitter at TheMonarchXP as well. 50 days, 50 stories from each episode that we've recorded here at the Monarch Experience. I'm going to share some behind-the-scenes information, some never-before told stories from each episode, the recording experience, some funny stories about maybe the students in general, stuff that happened while we were recording, stuff that happened leading up to it, or just kind of my memory or insight into what each episode was, the inner workings of each episode. So without further ado, check that out on social media, and let's dive right into chatting about Cobra Kai Season 4. I can't wait. We're talking about Cobra Kai Season 4, and I am so excited because much like many of you out there, I'm sure you binge-watched this thing in a matter of days. We've got two or three incredible guests today on this episode reviewing Cobra Kai Season 4. We've got returning, you may remember her. Of course you would remember her. She's unforgettable. We've got Rika returning from our review of Season 3. Rika, want to say something to our audience?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody, it is. We've got Ben. Ben, say something to our audience.
Well, everyone, welcome to the Cobra Kai Season 4 review.
Wonderful. Ben, I think, is the one who kind of, Ben and Rika, we were like, I guess we're going to have to scrap the getting to know you question because of time, and I didn't really think of one, so who cares? And Ben and Rika had the great thought of, We don't need one. We all know each other. Everybody knows everybody. So it's perfect. Exactly. So I guess the big question to ask is, how quickly did you watch Cobra Kai season 4?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days?
2 days.
All right.
I wish I could say 1 day. If I didn't watch it with my family, I would say 1 day. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. Well, it's unfortunate in the fact that it took 2 days, but it's unfortunate that we couldn't watch it in 1 day. We watched 4 episodes the first and 6 episodes the second.
Ben is walking that statement back because he knows his parents are probably going to listen to this when it comes out, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my parents holding me back from doing the things I love and watching 10 hours of TV consecutively. Maybe a little less.
I actually calculated it was 5 hours.
Thank you. Really, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because half-hour episodes. Yeah. I mean, look, half-hour episodes. Love that. That is the way to go. No filler, all thriller, like Jerry Lee Lewis would say. References you guys are not getting at all. All right, so let's jump into this. Cobra Kai season 4. Let's start right here. Ben, Rika, better or worse than season 3 as a whole? Better or worse, Ben?
I think it's better because there's just like season 3. I feel like season 2 and season 4, a lot happened in those seasons. Season 3 was kind of like closing out season 2 and beginning season 4. Like, Miguel was recovering. Like, okay, yeah, he got hurt. We know that's going to happen. Miguel was recovering and rehabbing, and the dojos were preparing. Like, nothing new, like, besides Daniel going to Okinawa, nothing new really happened. It was just kind of like preparing for season 4. I think season 4 was better than season 3 because it's just more action filled and there's more that happened. But I still, season 1 was my favorite season.
I would disagree about season 4 being better because in season 4 it was mostly just leading up to the final All Valley tournament, whereas in season 3 it was a lot of different stuff with Daniel going to Okinawa and meeting Chosen and that entire fight scene. That was amazing. But season 4 was just a bit slow, especially episodes like 2 to 5. It felt mostly like filler compared to actual meat of the season.
Rika, I'm so glad you said that because I found myself getting really... I mean, in a half-an-hour show, I usually am not super distracted and on my phone. But, man, I felt like episodes 2 through 5, I was, like, on my phone. I was kind of, like, not paying attention. It felt like you said it perfectly. It was all leading up to the last final 2 episodes. And, man, it did not disappoint. But I thought season 3 was overall better. It was much more of a roller coaster. Every episode felt like a holy cow, I can't believe this happened kind of moment. Whereas season 4, at the end was more like a giant explosion towards the end.
Yeah,
I would agree with that, despite what I said.
Yeah, and Ben said that it was mostly about just Miguel rehabbing, but every episode was about a new step, where first he just couldn't do anything and Johnny was trying everything he could. In the next episode, he took him to a concert and his legs started moving. It was like an improvement in every episode. So...
Yeah. So, big thing that I want to start with this conversation, and you know, if you've listened to this podcast and you've listened to the episode where we did with season 3, you probably going to notice that the way we're going to talk about this is a little different. We're not going to talk about our favorite characters or anything like that. Really, I want to focus on kind of the thematic arc that they were trying to get across with season 4, which, you know, sometimes when you're trying to complete a character arc or complete a narrative, there is sometimes a lull in the middle of the show or the text or the book or whatever it may be. And I think that's fair that happened in 2 to 5. There was a lot of building. You needed those episodes to build, to get to that inevitable explosion at the end. So one of the themes that I noticed that I want to start with is it hit me at the end of season 4 that every season pretty much has the common theme of a new villain, basically from season 1 on. There's been a new villain that has overtaken the previous villain and leaves you at the end of the season going, oh man, is that villain going to be worse? So I want to kind of start there. And also we've got Rishaan. Rishaan, say something to our audience.
Hi.
To me, the big thing is like Cobra Kai starts and immediately season 1, you know Johnny Lawrence is the villain, right? And then a new villain overtakes him and it's Kreese. And then
what about season 3?
Well, so
Season 3 was more of a build-up. I don't think Johnny went back to being the villain, but he wasn't exactly a hero there either.
Yeah, and I think what was interesting then at the end, it's Lawrence to Kreese, it's Kreese to Lawrence, and then Terry Silver comes in and takes over. So I just think it's very interesting that like the concept of so many of the bad guys in this show are always who can be more bad. We got two bad guys, and
competition of the villains.
Competition of the villains, right? Did any of you guys notice that? Do you guys like? Does that make the show more impressive? What are your thoughts?
Not really. I think that like it's just something like I don't think like all the villains that have been throughout the show like are knowingly competing to be better. Like I just think that it just so happens to turn out that way. And also, you said Johnny was the villain in like season 1. Like he was the villain, but that was clear, and the people who wrote the show wanted to make that clear. But I feel like at the same time, the show kind of protagonized him. Like you were feeling for him at the beginning. You were feeling for him, and you were like you weren't rooting for him, but he was likable. And he wasn't like a classic villain. It wasn't a straightforward good guy bad guy show.
So I guess what I meant was that in Karate Kid, he was the villain.
Yeah.
And then once the show started, your brain is like, okay, well, I got Daniel LaRusso, he's your good guy, and now I've got Johnny Lawrence, and he's the bad guy. I guess I wonder if that's like a part of the idea that like bad sometimes brings out the good in people, where like Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, where like Emperor Palpatine was so bad trying to kill Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi, and Darth Vader's kind of like, damn, this dude's crazy, and that kind of is the catalyst that turns him good.
What you're doing.
Yeah, that was something that kind of really jumped out for me. Rishaan asked a really great question in the planning doc, and I hope Rishaan could get in on this, but he asked, who's the bigger sociopath, Kreese or Terry Crews? Or Terry Crews, the actor?
Terry Silver.
Yeah, that Old Spice commercial guy. Terry Crews is a wonderful human being. Or Terry Silver. What's your take? Who's the bigger sociopath?
I would say that the more obvious sociopath is definitely Kreese, because he has a backstory, and while he has a reason to do the stuff, like he's been hardened to do all this stuff. His girlfriend died, and and being in the Vietnam War and all of that. But he's definitely there are people who have survived the Vietnam War and are okay humans, but he is not okay. So he's definitely a sociopath.
That's fair, and I think he's got a longer history of doing heinous things. Ben, who do you think is a bigger sociopath?
I have to agree. I think Kreese is the bigger sociopath, especially because of his background. And the thing that makes Terry Silver kind of a sociopath is really like his money. Like he gave Robbie a Ferrari to take to prom when Robbie wasn't even going to the school.
Yeah.
And he just uses like without his money, I feel like there's not much to him, because like he kind like when they announced him at his dojo at the tournament, he kind of like took the mic. He kind of took over and was like, "We're launching tons of Cobra Kai franchises." Like, if you didn't have the money, you wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Terry Silver relies on Kreese's influence and gets that sociopathness from Kreese. And if he didn't have his money, I think he'd be a completely different person.
The reason why I think that Terry was a really good villain is because he's just introduced, and he actually fit it. Not technically just introduced. He's been there from Karate Kid, and they brought him back. And he throughout the entire series, he's basically shown as the one who's trying to one up Kreese, because he's been put down the entire time. He's like, you're wimp. You're not as good as I am. I'm the one who saved you, and stuff like that. And he's constantly trying to prove himself. And when he gets that, he builds all that money. He knows that he's trying to prove to himself that he's better than Kreese.
Yeah, you know what? I agree, and I know it doesn't make for a great conversation, which is fine because we're moving right on. I agree. I think Kreese is the bigger sociopath, and I think major props to Rishaan for posing that question, because I think it's such an interesting one. I'm very proud of us for not letting recency bias influence us. with the last scene where Terry Silver, not Terry Crews, it makes this just such a horrible decision to get Kreese, to frame him and to abuse Stingray like that. I'm so glad that we still stuck with Kreese is still worse of a guy, but we'll get there because I feel like I'm kind of rooting for Kreese at the end.
But is it really like maybe I just missed something? When Stingray was in the hospital and the FBI agent said, "Who did this to you? We'll make sure they never do it to you again."
Yeah.
Did Stingray just not know that wasn't Kreese?
No.
Because it seemed like I may have just missed this. Because it seemed like Terry Silver knew that Kreese was going to get arrested.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Rika, take it away.
So in the beginning, when Stingray came back to the dojo, Kreese was like, "No, you're not welcome here. Get out!" And he just embarrassed him in front of the entire dojo.
Right.
And he came back and he found Silver in the back of the dojo, and he's like, take me back. But he beats him up, and later when we get to I think the last episode, there's a flashback where he shows that Silver's like, "You need to do this for me," and it shows that Stingray is the one saying that Sensei Kreese did this to me, because Silver's is framing Kreese for that. He's saying that he's trying to force him to say that it was Kreese.
Yeah, and I think Stingray is such a, to not sound nice, he's so pathetic and just wants to be included so badly. There's nothing pathetic about wanting to be included, but the way that he goes, the means that he does to do it, I think Silver knows that this guy is in his eyes, such a loser that I could beat the snot out of him and I could then get him to do whatever I tell him to. And I think that might be Terry Silver's weakness, where power, he wants this power because he came clean of everything and gained this power through money and financial opportunity and all of that. And he was living this very luxurious but very successful life, but he was powerful. And I think you see him assert that power when he bribes the ref at the end. So I think this is a great transition to where we're going now, that this theme of everybody has a weakness, it hit me at the end where every character has this weakness that is so integral to the plot of season 4. And it uses their arc to begin to come to this close, or what I imagine is going to come to a close, or even just help them grow as a character, like with Daniel LaRusso. Which character's weakness do you guys think had the biggest impact on them and their decisions?
I think Daniel.
Yeah? What was his? Well, let's start here. What was his weakness, and then how do you think that impacted his decisions?
I think his weakness was his understanding, his lack of understanding that there's another. It's even specifically stated multiple times in the show. There's another way of doing things. There's another way of life besides Miyagi-Do karate, because he's been I don't remember Mr. Miyagi ever saying this is the only way, don't listen to what anyone else says. He just assumes that from the teachings of Miyagi-Do karate. And I think that Sam wanting to learn Eagle Fang and learn both styles opens up Daniel to this possibility that there is in fact another way, and that there's another way of karate, and that his way might not always be the right way.
Ben, I think that's so interesting because you're so right. Mr. Miyagi never said this is the only way, but I think
as a matter of fact, he probably would have supported that it's not.
He actually did. When there's a flashback scene, he's like, "You're gonna have your own way when you grow up. It's not gonna be just this."
Yeah. And by the way, the flashbacks, I'm sure we talked about it in the season 3 review, but I can't help but from an editing standpoint, the way that they infuse scenes from the 3 movies, they do it so masterfully where it doesn't feel like a flashback. It doesn't feel like a cheesy I don't know if you guys watch Family Guy, but how Family Guy does the cutaways. It just doesn't feel so contrived. It seems so natural where when it happened, there's no scene where they've done the flashback where I've gone, they're going to do a flashback here. It just happens so seamlessly with what they're trying to show. I love that. And I Rika, I'm so glad you brought that up. I wonder if a part of it and why Sam, Daniel's daughter, is so open to trying new things is because she kind of fits in. Like, she's got this like crowd and clique that she's a part of, and she's popular and she's wealthy, and like she fits in a lot of the society within school. Whereas Daniel, when he moved in the original Karate Kid, like, he was the loner, he was the loser, like he had no friends, he had no place that he could kind of find his way. So it only makes sense that someone like Daniel would then gravitate towards Miyagi-Do karate and then say, this is the only way, because it's the only thing that kind of accepted him.
So, in my opinion, like, I've never really liked Sam much. Like, that's just my opinion. But ever since when I watched that scene, like, when she was about to fight Piper, like, I feel like, and like she started to use Eagle Fang techniques, I think that's like what Daniel was really missing. Like, I know, like, yeah, sure, like he would get bullied by Cobra Kai, but like I think he's still like maybe in the back of his head he maybe thinks that like Eagle Fang is still like kind of Cobra Kai-ish.
He actually says that. He actually says that I think in the first few episodes he's like, it's not that different. You just say it's different, but you're still teaching what Cobra Kai teaches.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, talk about a character who's really stuck in the past. Like, Daniel is stuck in the, like, they even make kind of jokes about it where I think season 3 they went out to dinner and they're like, oh, look at these guys. They're all just reliving the glory days. I mean, Daniel is so stuck in the past. Rishaan, that's a great point. Johnny Lawrence, to me, I think, is one of the more fascinating ones just because everything that Ben said earlier about him being the antagonist, but kind of turning him into the protagonist.
Like, you feel for him.
You feel for him. Like, you want him I don't think every time Johnny Lawrence screws up in the 4 seasons, I still find myself rooting for him because I'm like, man, this guy's got a good heart, but he just doesn't know how to do anything right, like, ever. And his weakness clearly is, like, wanting to be the father that he never had. And you see that with his relationship with Robbie. Obviously, that's his biological son. And then you see that with his relationship with Miguel, where he's trying to balance being a father and father figure for both of them. He's failing at both, like, most of the time. And not all of it's his fault, but, like, that scene where he calls Miguel Robbie in the hospital was heartbreaking because it took me an extra second or two at first, and I was like, whoa, oh, no, Miguel. Like, how could you do that to Miguel? But, again, everybody has a weakness, and I think staying on that theme, it's Johnny Lawrence's, to me, is just so interesting because unlike Daniel, who's trying to live in the past, Johnny Lawrence is trying to, like, correct all of the stuff that's happened in his past.
Miguel needs a father figure too because he doesn't know his dad, and that's how Johnny and Miguel are connecting. And when he sees the relationship that Sam has with her dad and how Daniel's, like, when she takes over the company and everything, he sees that she has that money and he doesn't think he can afford all that, and he's constantly in that I'm not good enough type of phase. And especially when he breaks his spine, and then during the All Value when he almost, like, crunches that up when he gets hurt, I think he feels kind of scared that he's still not ready and not good enough, so he just absconds and runs away.
Ooh, look at the word choice right there. Absconds. Yeah. And he so is, I think you've seen that a lot with his weakness throughout the entire series, not just season 4, feeling like he's not good enough. I mean, I think we're going to see that unfold enormously in season 5, where he goes off to find his father, who doesn't know he exists. Like,
I kind of missed that for a second there because I got a notification on my phone. I was just there, and then when she just says his dad doesn't know he exists, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I think Johnny's gonna save him.
And I think that would be, one, strengthening that weakness, kind of that redemption story, and then hopefully that's him putting all the wrongs, right. Rishaan, which character's weakness do you think has had the biggest impact on their decisions, or what character do you want to break down for a little bit?
Probably Hawk, because, like,
after let's talk about Hawk.
After that, like, how, like, Cobra Kai just shaved his, like, mohawk off, like, that was basically his whole personality. That mohawk, that tattoo, that was his whole, like, that's what he rocked for, like, ever. And then like the disrespect like Cobra Kai put on him, like that like backfires on him so much that like it ruins his confidence, his ego. Like he was like quitting karate for like a long time. And to be honest, I feel like he was treated really badly in season 4 because like in season 2 and like season 1, like during the first All Valley tournament, he like nearly like, although Robbie isn't like that experienced yet, like he got training from Daniel, and like he like even who was it? Daniel said that he was like better than him, right? Yeah, he said that like he was better than him when he was like a child.
To Robbie?
Yeah, to Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the fact that Hawk nearly beat him, but like the only reason he lost was because he like gave an illegal kick. I feel like he got like downgraded by the past season.
Yeah, I think a part of like with Hawk too, his arc in this season was, you know, his weakness being the, I guess like the shield or the
facade.
The facade that he kind of put up with the tattoo and with the mohawk and with the, you know, all of that like personality to just compensate for. Don't forget what we originally saw him as. Like he was this like introvert who was so afraid to like talk to anyone or to put himself out there. And I think, you know, he kind of put up this facade, like Rika said. I love that it was horrible. Like we actually thought that they were going to tattoo Cobra Kai on him.
That would have been. It would honestly be cool to have a snake as a tattoo, but
it would. But realistically, I don't know how effective it would have been because how do any of the kids know how to tattoo?
And plus, like, what's the point? Like, you're not showing your back more than half the time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. They took away what he thought was his identity.
Exactly.
Again, so that was so enormous for him to grow, and I love characters that have layers, and I think Hawk now has so much more layering to him, especially where he's sitting with his friend Dimitri, and he's showing him that video with like the binary bros. And he's like, "You're a nerd, like that's who you are, like, but I love you." I love that. What other characters you guys want to break down as far as their weakness? Kreese?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to say that.
What's his? What do you think his weakness is?
Johnny.
I think his weakness.
Johnny?
Yeah.
Ben, what do you think?
I agree.
Rishaan?
I think his weakness is messing up. He's like he's afraid of messing up. Like he said it himself, he's not afraid to die, but like he has a fear, like even during the first Karate Kid when he put like Johnny to fight, right? He got so pissed at like Johnny, but to be honest, I feel like he knew it was his own fault. And
oh yeah.
I feel like messing up is his fear, cuz like he's been training like all his life, and like he's waiting for Cobra Kai to come back, and finally now he gets the opportunity, so he's really scared to mess up.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, this is like so eye-opening too, because he's been in the army his whole during a part of his life, so it's all about rigid structure, and it's all about like following orders, and he's been the, you know, a sensei. He's been a sensei for all these years, and and it's all about order and respect and like rules and following them, and everything is like nice and into place. Rishaan, I never thought that failing would be his weakness.
Yeah, like I the first time I thought about that was like during season 3. Remember like the flashback they had when he was like about to like, when they were telling him like pull the trigger on like, what was it, like that thing, like the bomb thing or whatever, like, and then
remembering,
and then like
vaguely familiar.
It was during the Vietnam War, and then they got surrounded by they got surrounded by like Vietnamese soldiers, and then he didn't.
That was a
pull
flashback
it,
quite a few seasons ago.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I thought it was season 3. Maybe
I think it was season 3, because we didn't know about his past until season 3.
It was at the beginning of season 3, though.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, because originally I felt like his weakness was Johnny Lawrence, because Terry Silver's kind of said like that he's your weakness, and that's the obvious answer. Rishaan, I really, really love the deeper, because I think that might get explored in season 5. Ben, Rika, what about Johnny Lawrence being his weakness? or failing Johnny Lawrence, maybe even. Let's combine both.
I think that he like when Sam was fighting Tori and they were going to their senseis, and Terry Silver was telling Tori what to do, and Kreese was thinking about Johnny, and I think like Kreese sees that, like Kreese doesn't want to give up Cobra Kai, like the dojo for Johnny, but he sees that he failed Johnny as a student and
as a person.
Because
look at him, he's a mess.
Because he is no longer a part of Cobra Kai anymore. He disbanded and formed his own dojo. So Kreese doesn't want that. And like Rishaan said, it's about being perfect. Kreese doesn't want that to happen to anything else.
I agree with you, but I think there's like a way more emotional part of this, because when he gets that flashback when Tori comes to the senseis and that part, he remembers where he got so mad at him and starts choking him and all of that, and he realizes that he feels like he failed him, and he realizes that he hasn't taught him well, not that he hasn't taught him well, but he sees his failures and how he taught him compared to how well Johnny's teaching his students, and he's just reminded of everything he's done in the past, and he's like, I don't want to make that mistake again.
So do you think that because he's seeing Johnny Lawrence succeed as a sensei, that's the eye-opening, like, aha moment for him to realize, like, oh crap, I failed as a teacher, as a leader. Yeah. I take everything back that I said. Rishaan, it's totally like his weakness is failure, and it's the failure of Johnny Lawrence and the failure of all that stuff. But I think it's failure in general, and Johnny Lawrence is just like the example of that. Whoa. Oh man. Amazing. I tell you what, I never thought that I would, because you see the cracks. You start to see the cracks in Kreese, where he kind of starts like softening. You see him kind of like looking at Terry Silver. You see him reflecting. We've never seen him reflect on what he did to Johnny Lawrence back in Karate Kid 1. You see him start to kind of like realize, I could right all of these wrongs by telling Tori to do what she felt was to do what she feels is right, and to do like to not just follow just my teaching and do that way.
He's becoming more human.
Yeah, right. And isn't that the human experience of like taking in different perspectives, dude? Oh my. Whoa. Speaking of Tori, does she have? I mean, I know she has a weakness. The show is too well written for her not to have a weakness. What is her weakness?
That's actually a really hard one.
Like, she has a lot of weaknesses.
I struggled.
I think it's really
I have
just
an idea.
her life
It might be. It might be her.
Rishaan, what do you think?
It might be her own confidence that's her own weakness, because like she doesn't take help from or her ego. My bad.
Yeah.
She doesn't take help from anyone. Like she only wants help from herself and like to take care of her family. Like her aunt came, like she just did not trust her at all. Like I think her own weakness is herself.
Because she is someone who, I know Rishaan, our class, we talked a lot about self-sabotaging with the stuff we've been working on. Tori is a perfect example of someone who engages in a lot of self-sabotage. Every second and third chance she gets, she is the one that finds a way to screw it up because ego.
I also think that she feels like everything is her fault, because at first, when all those family situations and everything, she feels the need to take on the responsibilities herself to fix the situation that she's in.
Yeah.
And when she sees what she's done to Sam, she immediately pities her, and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So she feels like that's her fault.
Yes. That's what was throwing me off, because when she hit that kick, was the kick not legal?
I don't...
They didn't say it was illegal.
Yeah, but we wouldn't know, because Silver has bribed the ref.
Right.
But I don't know how. It's just like a character development, because in the previous season when Tori and the others broke into the LaRusso house and everything, and they beat up Sam and all the others,
there was no mercy.
No remorse.
No pun intended.
No mercy, no remorse, nothing. But in this, when it comes to fighting legally, she just decides to take pity. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder, and we're going to start moving on to the next section just for time too. We could quickly chat about Robbie. The mom thing, I really dislike Mrs. LaRusso.
Yeah.
Because I thought that move of, she's trying to help her. I know her character is a little bit overbearing and maybe a little neurotic. She also always has the face of, like, and I know this is audio and you can't hear it, but, like, I realized, like, she's just always making the, like, kind of face, like, she's, like, shocked and appalled a little bit. And it kind of hit me this season where she's just interfering, and I know she's trying to do right by Tori, but when she meets her in the locker room, like, don't mess up Tori's her focus. And when you're like, I just want you to make sure that you don't hurt my daughter. Like, are you kidding me? Like, get her out of the locker room. Let this kid, like, focus for the tournament. Don't pollute her mind with, like, I hope you don't hurt my daughter. Like, that's terrible.
Like, I know Amanda wants to help and all, and she's probably takes this in a... I mean, of course she does, because Tori beat up her daughter multiple times.
Yeah.
So she probably takes this in a very personal way that none of us can really understand.
Yeah.
But I think that, like this is Sam's problem, and she needs to mind her business.
I think a big part of it, though, is when we find out that Mrs. LaRusso isn't entirely this, like, static, kind of boring character, that her past, she sees a little bit of Tori, or she sees herself in Tori, so she's trying to kind of right the wrongs of her own, mistakes.
Well, yeah, she totally wants to help.
I found it particularly annoying when she came to where Tori was working and she was like, "Don't interfere" and all of that, and when she tried to make up for it by leaving the bag of groceries there. I understand that she was trying to right the wrong and stuff, but she was just making it seem like Tori couldn't do anything on her own, and she needed to, like, intervene.
Yeah.
And
Tori's not the kind of person that is going to respond to that.
I totally understood. I mean, obviously, I don't think any of us are going through that, but I totally understand why Tori got so mad at Amanda and just, like, coming into the LaRusso, like, the auto shop thing, and be like, "You can't do this to me."
Yeah. And because I think, the LaRussos are rich, wealthy, they're powerful, they are successful, and they are the it family in, their town. Everybody knows them. Everybody loves them. Everybody, like, oh my God, the LaRussos, right? Slashing the prices.
They take advantage of that.
Yeah, a little bit. I think they do. And Tori is like this outcast from a broken home that has a lot of stuff that, like, that no teenager should have to, like, shoulder. And she's just like, who are you coming down from your pedestal trying to help me? You're not really trying to help me. One last character that I think we should chat about before we move on to what our favorite scene was, Robbie, because Robbie's weakness with Kenny was very interesting. What are your takes on that?
So, in my opinion, Kenny, honestly, when I first saw him, like, I think he's a likable character. Like he started off like this innocent kid that, like, he just played
dancing at the bus stop.
Yeah, like playing Dungeon Lord or something.
Yeah,
and then and then like once school started, like, it kind of like made him realize, like, it's the real world now, like,
Yeah.
So I think what Robbie saw in that, like, once he walked into Cobra Kai, like, and like talked about it to his brother. I think when he came into Cobra Kai, I think Robbie, like, could notice, like, oh, he's finally, like, realized, like, I think he needs help and, like, that kind of thing, like a big brother kind of.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of reflection.
In Kenny.
Yes, there's a lot of reflection.
And
he sees himself in Kenny, and he sees, like, he doesn't want Kenny to repeat his mistakes, and he knows that he especially can, like, help Kenny because of Kenny's relationship with Sean and Robbie's relationship with
Sean.
I agree with that, but I also think that Johnny is his weakness, because he's always wanted someone to blame for all his problems, because Johnny was the cause for his problems because he abandoned Robbie, but he just needed someone to pin the blame on. And when he finally understands that whatever he went through, Kenny's going through, and he sees that in himself, he feels bad, and he understood what was going on, and he needed someone to talk to, and he didn't have anyone, so he went to his dad, which shows that that's his weakness.
Yeah,
I actually have like one like this. This is really controversial, but maybe the mom, like his mom Shannon, might be a weakness because like if you think about it, like his mom said it before, like he was trying to like make Robbie like not like his dad at all. Like maybe that was like a weakness because like his dad made like multiple efforts to try to help Robbie. He didn't want to take any of it because like he took what his mom said and like his own experiences with his dad instead of like forgiving him and maybe giving him another chance. So that might have set him up later, and that might have been a weakness for him.
You know, it's Rishaan, I think that's really well said. Something that Ben and Rika kind of just said, also just to circle back to it for a second, was like blaming. And I think Robbie blaming everyone else for so long, I almost think that he had to see someone that was going through something that he's going through or similar to him for him to kind of realize his own situation. And sometimes I think that
through someone else.
Yeah, I think in life sometimes that happens. Like you can't see it yourself. You have to see someone else going through it for you to be able to realize like what you have to do. So awesome. What were you guys your favorite scenes from season 4?
My favorite scene was more of like the finale, the serious part of it, where Daniel is by Mr. Miyagi's grave and he's like, I need to do this even though we made a pact and a deal and everything. I can't let Cobra Kai win. And I thought he was just like being like motivational to himself and just talking to Mr. Miyagi and remembering him.
Me too.
But when it like zoomed out and showed Chosen, I just started screaming. Because
I forgot about Chosen.
I technically forgot about him too, but his Miyagi does the secrets and everything. Even though he taught Daniel, it's not gonna be as good because he directly learned it, and he knows what to do. So I feel like Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang, when they come together completely, it's gonna be a lot stronger as a whole with Chosen in it.
Yeah, and I wonder if Chosen will be kind of the glue to keep Johnny and Daniel from inevitably imploding again. And I don't think they will implode because I think they did that in season 4. So I think it'll be different season 5. Ben, what was your favorite scene from season 4?
I liked I couldn't really think of one in particular. I liked all of the scenes where Daniel and Johnny were working together. It was just like cool to see how these villains, they weren't, Daniel wasn't a villain, but how these people
I don't know.
They're not villains working together.
Yeah.
How these two completely different people in Karate Kid are united together by their hatred for Kreese. And I like to see them work together. And I don't know why, like, a lot of the fight scenes I just thought were, like, funny. Like, I don't know why. Like, I mean, besides the one where Terry Silver's beating up Stingray, I just couldn't help but laugh at all the fight scenes. Because it just seemed, like, so just stupid to me. Like, even though it was real, and I know that, just watching it just seemed so stupid, and I couldn't help myself from laughing at it.
You know why? All I could think of was, I don't think if we went to 100 karate matches, I don't know if we would see any karate that looks anything like what we saw in the show.
And I was actually...
Like, it was like Street Fighter.
I was surprised for the All Valley tournament. I understand that it's a big deal, but I didn't expect that many people to come out to watch karate.
Yeah, and also Carrie Underwood is not what I think of when I think of karate. I was like, what is this?
I did like karate, I did karate for 8 years, and then I stopped.
Did you?
Yeah. So I know a bit about it, and to be honest, there's some similarities, but it kind of what I saw from watching Cobra Kai, it's a lot of it. They maybe I think they took the aspect of karate, some moves that they used are actual karate, I don't know, the kicks. Some of them they do is from karate, but some of the moves they do are also really dirty. So I think they just mixed those two. And made it.
My wife and I were Googling what's legal in karate. I'm like, so Rishaan, maybe you can answer this. Can you kick a dude right in the face?
No, you can't.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, there's no way you can have kids competing and you just got kicked right in the face, you're knocked out. Point.
Yeah, it's way different.
So exaggerated.
It's so there are you can maybe hit people in the head a little bit, Not directly in the face. You can't.
Sure.
Maybe to the sides you can, but it would be like something that wouldn't hurt. It would be something that would just be like a tap. Or
right.
But like if you actually wanted to like get a point, you'd have to hit their chest, their sides,
sure.
legs, like the sweeping thing they do in the show, like that. I don't think that's allowed. Like I think there's like other things that are allowed, like maybe like bringing them to the floor, but like that sweeping thing, that also you can't do. But
yeah, I love the portrayal of like these things. Like whenever there's like if there's like a wrestling movie, like not professional wrestling, but like amateur wrestling, they'll always exaggerate it where people are like suplexing one another. It's like, that's not allowed. That's not how it works. Rishaan, what was your favorite scene in season 4?
In my opinion, I thought like, when Robbie was talking to Kenny that one time, but maybe the more I thought about it, maybe Robbie versus Kenny, or maybe when Johnny, like when Terry told Johnny to meet up with Terry, or said the address, and then Johnny came, and then Terry like beat him.
Oh yeah,
and then,
yeah.
Like I saw Kreese in the background. He was like not having it, Like he was like did not want that to happen, and like I think that like Terry's like pathology or whatever like kind of came out there, because like he was like so focused on being loyal to Kreese, but Kreese didn't want that to be what he did for loyalty.
That scene, Ben, you might like this, and I know I just mentioned this earlier, but like that scene really reminded me of the ending scene in Return of the Jedi, where you got Kreese, who's Darth Vader, looking on as Terry Silver, or Palpatine, is like beating the life out of Luke or Johnny Lawrence, and just like kind of not approving, like, I don't want this. And I think that scene helps humanize Kreese. My favorite scene.
It helps him understand. I think it helps him understand. Like, remember that scene? And this is like Terry Silver's weakness too. Remember that scene at the end of episode 7, where Kreese was like, "I'm in charge. You have to stop," and that like really scared Terry Silver. So that's like his weakness, where like being like kind of like dethroned by someone like that is too reliant on his power for something like that to happen. Yeah. And if he loses, he's nothing without his power.
Yeah, my favorite scene, you guys went all really intense. My favorite scene was when Johnny Lawrence was at the high school trying to recruit girls to be a part of Eagle Fang. Like, that whole scene. And then when he was like, the guy was like, "Oh, which one's yours?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm just scoping out potential." The guy was like, "Oh my God, what?"
Speaking about that.
Like, all of that was so funny. And where he was like, just having him lathered up in like the baby oil and trying to get Miguel to flex, and he just looks like a sweaty mess. Yeah. And they're like, "You like that over there?"
Speaking of that, like the person, I mean, like Devin, I think that like Johnny recruited, like, I'm kind of not like, we didn't see much action from her. Like,
I agree.
I
thought
the fact that she's the only woman in Eagle Fang, and she's not get like any like recognition, and same with like Piper kind of, but like any recognition compared to Tori and Sam. Like,
I agree. I thought that was the only part of the season where I actually said out loud, what was the point? I mean, like, I know there was a point, but it didn't feel like they were very important. Now, who knows? They may come and be much more important in season 5. But I feel like I totally agree. It felt like they were thrown in there to like fill a role of, well, every dojo needs to have a female competitor, and it just kind of left me feeling like, eh. But that leads us perfectly to what you guys are looking forward to in season 5 as we're wrapping this thing up. And what are some things you guys are looking forward to most about season 5? I thought season 4 was going to be it. Culminate with the tournament, and then Cobra Kai loses, gets dispelled, the good guys win, they work together, and somehow they found a way to turn this thing into another season 5. And that's not forced. That I'm like, okay, let's do it. I could go season 5. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm really curious to see what Kreese thinks of prison. Like, I don't even know if he knows why he's there and what's happening to him. I think he's gonna,
he doesn't know.
I think he's gonna really be curious about prison and like what happens.
You know who has to help him out of prison, right?
Daniel and Johnny.
Daniel and Johnny. Like, they have to be the ones that help him, get Kreese, or get Johnny Silver, Terry Silver, and get Kreese out of prison by, all kind of joining forces to go after him.
Yeah. I wonder what will happen, like...
I don't think he's going to like prison. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Will Tori say anything about what she saw about Terry Silver bribing the referee?
Yeah.
Maybe she'll, give the trophy to Sam and say, hey, you deserve this. You should
No,
have
she
it.
won't do that.
She won't. Because what's her weakness?
Her
ego and power.
Ego.
Yeah, it is. Ego
Honestly,
and power. So she's going to be torn. That's going to be a really fascinating storyline to follow in season 5. Rishaan, go ahead.
Tori's storyline, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting.
It is.
Because, that's why I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with her in the next coming seasons, or the season, if this is, a finale. I don't really know.
I kind of don't want it to be.
Yeah.
This is one of the best written shows that I've ever seen. And I know it's, very kind of at times, cheesy, but it's just the writing for the characters is so well done. Nothing is for the sake of just having it happen. Tori kind of went from just your classic bully, whatever, to she's got layers. They all have got layers. They're all onions. Rika, what are you most looking forward to?
I think that they mostly built up Kreese's character and made us sympathize with him, so that if and most probably when Daniel and Johnny join forces and break out Kreese, because they realize that they have to team up to beat Terry Silver's, it's gonna provide a logical reasoning for why he deserves to be out of jail. And
okay,
with Chosen, Daniel, Donnie Lawrence, and Kreese, it's gonna be a major trio against just one person. I agree. Especially with Terry's ego and power issues, with being technically still scared of being one up by Kreese. He's gonna be a little bit outnumbered by the entire thing.
So here's my bold prediction for season 5. Are you ready? Because they do a great job of constantly evolving the characters. Like Layla said, shout out to Layla, on our season 3 review. There is no good and evil. There's just a lot of gray area in between. It's not just good and bad. I think Kreese dies heroically, and that's the only way the audience can then forgive him for everything, is by having him do something that just totally redeems himself. And that's my bold take. And then I think because of that, I think you get the characters then who forgive him as well. Hot take alert.
I think season 5 might be
the finale.
In my opinion, it might be the finale. Also, it might be one of the best seasons.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, season 2 was, I think, my favorite season. But I feel I have a really strong feeling about season 5.
Season 2 was the introduction of Kreese, right?
Yeah.
Season 2 was amazing.
Yeah, it built up so much. And then season 3 was just everything was crumbling. And then season 4 it built it back up.
I'm gonna love season 5. Yeah.
Oh, so good. And I cannot wait for season 5. And the last 2 episodes alone of season 4 are what did it for me. So excited. Listen, Rika, amazing job. Ben, fantastic job. Great insight. Rishaan, amazing. All our listeners, make sure you're following us on social media. Until the next time, stay safe, stay hungry. See ya.